enjoy the show. Play on my channel.
Mark, you're beautiful. How are you?
Better now. Much now. Better now, man. I don't think, Discord's made for guys like me. So.
But 70-year-olds like Mark McKenna, it's no problem. It's fine.
No problem.
It's fine.
Guys like me, dude, I've never seen some of the messages where it told me your password is taken. I was like, I don't think that's the thing. Yeah. So, that was a first.
Oh,
Classic.
my God. I'm fighting off some kind of a throat tickle. So I got to keep liquids in there somehow. And you probably noticed that. I kept going back to my water bottle on the Delco After Dark podcast because I didn't want to cough. There's this cough going around, and it's.
What soda did you end up getting?
We didn't do the soda.
What?
We just talked.
I'm gonna get Carl. I'm gonna tell him
I broke Carl. I broke him. I broke Carl, man.
That's not right. He should have gave you something nasty to drink.
Dude, it was like I told him we'll do the sodas at the Great Media Comic Con. We'll go live and we'll do it there live at Great Media Comic Con. But
I'm not doing them. You can do them.
I mean,
I had my taste.
I'm just saying. I was actually really glad I didn't have to do the soda thing, but I'm also really glad that I broke Carl because that just means I was really interesting.
Yeah.
It was my first interview, man. And Aleem, it was really weird for me being on your side, being the interviewer instead of the interviewee. Like, we met because of Mark. Like a lot of my guests, we met because of Mark and the Great Media Comic Con. And we met there. And it was, we met Frank there. And through Frank, I met you, Aleem. And this is all one building off of each other. And it's very much what we try to do on Bridgehangers and Wall Hangers is build each other up. And with the Great Media Comic Con, you're not the average Comic Con. You wouldn't have gone to like a person like Aleem, and you would have gone to a person like Aleem, but you would have gotten a person like Beatrice Bopley or Johnny Necro or Leah Cavelli, and I'm sure all the great stuff you're doing this year for like the average little con. You're thinking outside the box, which is what I love about you.
Well, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think we're a lot like other Comic Cons. I think there's no other Comic Con quite like us in Delaware County.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think we offer for what people pay to get in and what it encompasses. It's a lot of bang for your buck. You know what I mean? It's a lot. And, we're about to announce panels soon. We're going to do panels this year. So
that's great.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're very excited. Yeah.
I do want to interject here because Aleem,
go ahead.
Aleem, one of your things and one of the reasons why I wanted to have you in here is because I feel like we can try to affect everybody else in the con circuit right here, because one of your grievances was with cons and their table purchases for artists. Like, for you to be an artist and to purchase a table at a con, it is a lot for you to go to a big con like in Philly or Oaks and try to break even. So, like Johnny Necro and a whole bunch of other smaller, like Josh Shockley and Brandon Spicer, a bunch of people are going to smaller cons. And it's a benefit to you, Mark, because you get this benefit, because when you go to those bigger cons, you're paying a lot of money, right, Aleem? What were the figures you were telling me and Frank?
Oh man, well, there's one over in Texas that I was at last year that I won't be going back to this year because they've upped their price again. And I think it's almost $500 to get inside of the artist alley inside of their convention. And then you add.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, it is. It's for 2 days, but I mean, it's a lot. First of all,
Yeah.
like depending on what you're selling, I'm not going down there with a $500 item to sell where I can make,
Right.
like just hope and pray that over that weekend I get that one item done. I got, $5 item, $10 comic books, things like that. So I'm spending all weekend just trying to get my table and my travel and food and everything like that back before I can start getting into the green. That's why I really enjoyed the Great Media Comic Con, even though it was my first convention. My first comic book convention was the Great Media Comic Con, and it,
Love it.
it was right at home. Nice friendly community, fairly
Minus Frank.
priced.
Minus Frank. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was it was
I'm
it
gonna
was
throw
really
Frank
well
under the
done,
bus
man.
whenever I can. I love him though, and he knows it. I
Yeah.
love him. I love him. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, but yeah, and the connections that I made there really like it changed the course of my career as a comic book creator. Because I met some great people.
That's awesome.
I'm on Bajangas and Wall Hangers. I'm hanging out with that bastard Frank every once in a while. You know.
Oh man, just wait until we get into the Kickstarter. That's where you're gonna hear the smooth sounds of Liam's voice on these microphones. And
Yeah, I got my first voice acting gig from.
we
There you
are
go.
we are cooking over here, man. And
Yeah.
I want Tales of the Hunted to be the place where you find it like local radio. There used to be a local radio station you can go to. You can pop on. You can say, hey, this is where I'm going to find my next local event. Hey, there's a Comic-Con over near me. There's this over near me. Hey, there's this guy named Delco Spider-Man that one Mr. Below Me, Mark Gervais, turned me on to. There's a Delco Batman. There's so many people that influence my life in general that I want to use my platform to influence everybody watching this. And just like how I met Aleem through Mark and the Great Media Comic Con, which ultimately inspired this podcast, I want to inspire you to go to this man's event because Mark, Back to the Future, when I went on Delco After Dark, me and Carl were motorheads. We started talking about cars. We started talking about hydrogen conversion to cars immediately. And subconsciously, my first thought was that scene in Back to the Future to where it was that ad saying, hey, convert your car to a hover car. Now, Back to the Future.
You can still do that, Matt.
Back to the Future is really big for Great Media Comic-Con this year, Mark. Tell us why.
It is. Tell us what. Well, you can see in the background, I got my my poster signed and my Back to the Future 2 baseball cap. So I mean, this year we did something a little different, and we're getting into that movie experience space. So Friday night, April 12th, to kick off, we're gonna do a VIP event. We're gonna have for the first time in 30 years at the Media Theater, we'll be screening Back to the Future. It'll be the first time a big budget film has been first time in 30 years a big budget film has been shown at the Media Theater. We're gonna have the 30th anniversary DeLorean, and then we're gonna have a cosplay contest, all Back to the Future themed.
Wow.
Then on top of it, we've flown in Claudia Wells, who played Jennifer Parker in the movie. She'll be there for a Q&A session at the end of the film. It's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be not only that, is like when you buy the ticket for the VIP event, it gets you into the Comic-Con the whole weekend.
That is the best value purchase you can get, because just having Back to the Future, and we can all nerd out about this because it, for me, and it was one of those films to where it's so quintessentially like ingrained in film history that it's not, hey, we're having this cheesy 80s movie over here at this con. This is film history in a legendary town, Media, PA.
Yeah.
It's you're creating a staple for Delco.
Brian, yeah, for sure.
Because when you put this kind of thought into it, when you first told me this idea last year, it was like at the end of one of our meetings, I remember telling you that was a golden idea. That was a great idea, and it would be amazing. And I knew where you were going, and it was with Delco After Dark Call Park, because we got that hookup. He's an amazing guy. And getting the first time in 30 years to have a major motion picture be there, a Q&A, it's big for not only the community, but also the podcasting community, because it's one big thing that like Kevin Smith does. He likes to have Q&As. He likes to have a place to like a theater like that where you can fill it. You can book tickets and stuff. You know, it's giving media another outlet that you just showed them, just like the Comic-Con. Yeah. You're breaking through pathways. And that's what I love about you, is that you're thinking of things that everybody else is. But a lot, like I said, an idea is like picking up a golden kernel. A lot of people will be, oh, that's a nice golden kernel, and they'll put it back down. You're cultivating it. You're nurturing it. And you're very protective of it, as you should, because nobody is going to do this idea like you. I've felt your passion, and it's you can feel the heat. It's warming me now in these cold winter nights. You know, it's one of those things. I know it's going to be big, because one of the big polls on this podcast has been Johnny Necro. I know you love him.
I love that guy. He's
just
crazy.
like I do.
Yeah.
That was.
I got to
also
wheel
great
it back,
meeting
though. I
you.
appreciate all the compliments, Mac, but I do have a great team, and you know, I'm not doing this alone. You know, we've got some great people. We even have Frank. You know what I mean? He's okay. So
Frank One Punch Percy. But no,
Yeah.
list them out, man. I mean, Christopher Bristow. I mean, Kelly Collins.
Chic Mia. Yup.
I didn't know how to
Frank.
say his name. That's why I didn't.
Yeah.
Say it. I didn't want to blaspheme his name, Sheik. I'm sorry. I love you still.
Yeah.
You're all my best friends still.
Yeah.
And that's why I think just getting Claudia Wells in here was it's a great boost. And getting, you know, a lot of people to come back, getting new people to come in, you got voted most likely place to meet a celebrity, which for Delco.
We got beat by Dolan's Bar, though, and I was a little disappointed by it. Although I think this year we'll win. I think this year we're going to win. Yeah, I can't believe we got beat by a bar. You know what I mean? Wow. And I think it was like they saw one person there once. That was James McAvoy. You know what I mean? Like, what?
You can't beat half-price cocktail Tuesdays.
I get it. Yeah. I honestly, when we entered the Best of Delco, I kind of thought we were going to lose to Wawa, like everybody else does. So, you know what I mean? Because let's be honest, Delaware County you might see Delco Jesus walking into Wawa, you know what I mean? And there's a couple of those.
I need to get him on. I need to get Delco Jesus on. That's how.
Oh, dude, he's a great guy. Yeah.
That's my Delco Trinity right now. That's my Delco Avengers. Delco Batman, Delco Spider-Man, and Delco Jesus.
Yeah.
I figure we can figure
reach out to retired Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman was great.
Yes. Why didn't I think of that? That's why we have these podcasts. You're so beautiful, babe.
Yup, you're welcome.
Aleem, so
Yes, sir.
Great Media Comic-Con was your first Comic-Con. How does it compare to the Comic-Cons that we've had? Because Blue Hen was amazing. I mean, I was with Frank, and I didn't pay anything, and I was just being there. And I was sitting next to Ming Chen all day. But how was your experience at these Comic-Cons and the other Comic-Cons in Texas?
The comic, I mean, it's a dogfight inside of most conventions, because you're in a great big space, and you know, like with huge crowds and everything, and that's all well and good. But there's so much going on, so spread out through the convention, that you know you really need like a long stick with a hook on the end to pull somebody attention long enough to keep them at your table. Whereas at the Great Media Comic Con, it's cozy. You know what I mean? It's more relaxed. The crowds are moving in and out throughout the day or whatever, but it's never to the point of being overwhelming where I can't have a conversation with who's ever sitting in front of me because there's a crowd trying to push by them, because the space is an issue, or you know there's 30 people to stop in front of my table for to talk, and now like I'm losing what I'm there for, but it's what they're there for too, so I got to be mindful of that. So these are
Flow
some of
is
the
a big
things that
thing. Flow is a big thing, especially when I was with Frank. I mean, it was everybody going to Ming. Understandably so. I think it's a problem if everybody's going to like me and Frank. Like, oh my God, you guys are awesome. Like, what is in the water? But I think flow is an important thing because there was a very nice flow with the Great Media Comic Con, and the placement was great. I mean, I remember where everybody was in that, and it was a great space. But Mark, I heard wind that next year you guys may be getting a little bit big for the coop. Maybe
We'll see.
It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
I can't talk about that. I can't confirm or deny. We have to get through this one. You know what I mean? I'm too busy focusing on how to make sure Aleem makes all the money he can at this Comic-Con before I even think about next year. You know what I mean? I can tell you that, we do think about doing more movie events and stuff like that if everything goes well with that. And we definitely think it will. And it has been going so far. We've already sold tickets for the VIP stuff. They're on sale, by the way.
Send me the link. I'll add it in the podcast here.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, honestly, we're not even thinking about that right now. I've got so much on my plate. We've got these panels coming in. Leah Savoli has been working with us to help me get these panels organized. I'm meeting with the director of Delco the movie this week. So
that was big.
We're looking at
that's a big thing, especially with
so we're looking at doing something
Comic-Con, man. That's huge.
Yeah, we're looking at working with them and seeing what we can do to really make this Great Media Comic-Con this year. I feel like last year we knocked on the door and we got our foot in the door. I feel like this year's the year we take a sledgehammer to the door and we take it off its hinges. And that's kind of my goal. And it might be a little enthusiastic, but everybody knows me. Everyone knows me, and I
think that's right on course. I mean, even Aleem, do you really, are you surprised by that statement from Mark?
No, man. I think that improvement is always the goal in anybody's business, and they did a great job the first year, and I'm excited when I hear something like that. You know what I mean? Because better is always good.
Right. Yeah, that means more people for you. Yeah. So
yeah.
It's the best name about the name because you will always be great. It's embedded in the name, and with your enthusiasm and all of my friends in the Great Media Comic Con, I believe in you that you're going to truly create a true experience for the Delco community. And that's why I'm enthusiastic about it, because I believe that this will be a staple. Because people, especially when I went down to Ocean City Comic-Con, they've been infamously a one-day con, and down at the shore, it was, in December. And Frank and I went down there, and I had countless elderly people walk up to me. I mean, maybe they thought I was Frank Percy, because a lot of people apparently think I'm Frank Percy because Frank loves to wander away from his table. So, like, thousands of people think Frank Percy's like a 5'5" white guy. But outside of that, it was really nice hearing the thank yous because they were just thanking me for attending. Hey, we don't have anything going on around this community, and it really means a lot for us, for you to show up and just be here. And it's one of those things that I think the community and media really appreciates about the Great Media Comic-Con. It's the second year. You're trying your hardest to make it the best show that you can and really give your all to the community, to the nerds, and provide what you can for them to make it a thing that they all want to come back to the next year, that we all want to watch Tales of the Hunted and see, hey, who's going to be on this year? Because I'm going to try to get on all of them.
People always appreciate some good, clean, family fun in a safe environment. You know, a day to take your kids out to, not going to cost you a whole lot to get in and look around, and you're going to be entertained. That's a no-brainer. You know,
for sure.
Go enjoy yourself, and even without kids, you know, because it's still things of interest. With whether it's the cosplay contest, I'm still hunting down the rest of the cast of Street Fighter. I started that began at the Media Comic-Con. I think it was Guile. That was my first versus a Street Fighter character picture that I took. So now, you know, I'm on a mission to find everybody so I can just line up all the pictures on my wall and me squared up against, you know, Ryu, Ken,
you know,
and
I know
else.
him, right? I know him. I'm gonna tell him to dress as somebody else from Street Fighter.
All right, cool.
Make your day, man.
Cool. I got a collection. I mean, the Mortal Kombat people snuck in there, but it's mostly Street Fighter, man.
It's
like a character select screen
right now. Hold on.
You know what? That will make even more of a depth to the Great Media Comic-Con. You know what? Step up your cosplay game. Whatever you did last year, just improve it a little bit, because Delco Batman, right after he got the Arkham suit upgrade, and I mean, I'm really calling out all muscle men in Delco, including you, Mark.
Well, here we
including you. I will say it until I get a goddamn Avengers versus Justice League charity event for media. That's my goal. It's for the children. Pick your Avenger, Mark. Pick your Avenger. Or Justice League. Or Justice League. I'm not going to
I'm not.
It's for the kids. It's for the kids. Listen, it's not for me.
This is as far as I go. Look here, I got a shirt on. There you go.
Look, there you go. Delco Spidey doesn't accept that like me. Okay? I talked to Peter. Peter does not approve, and neither do I.
Peter?
Yeah, Peter Parker.
Who's Peter?
Delco Spider.
Who's Peter?
Yeah. I talked to Peter.
Peter.
Yeah, Peter Parker. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to know he's Peter Parker. But I talked to Delco Spider.
We forgot, remember?
Yeah. I forgot. I'm so
Batman, by the way.
Oh, Bruce Wayne. I'm sorry.
Who's
I don't
under
know
the
Batman
mask?
either. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I know Batman and Spider-Man, and I know they want you to pick. But come on, man. I already picked Wolverine for myself because I'm at that appropriate nerd height that, you know, 5'5", I could pass off.
I envision Wild Child from the X-Men.
Okay. For yourself?
Maybe MODOK?
For yourself or for me? I mean, for yourself. For me. Dude, if I can get a chair and pass off like one of those handicap chairs, I will rock them. I will rock a Delco MODOK. If I can get one of those handicap chairs as my
Modelco?
Modelco. I love that. I will be the Delco MODOK. I will. I'll sit there in the chair and I'll roll around. That would be so awesome. All right. You know my lazy nature and you spoke to it. So I think we have my character. So
here we go. We hit the Modelco.
Aleem, who would you cosplay as? Because I see you as Static Shock. Like a Batman
Static Shock.
Like a Batman Beyond.
Maybe Static Shock's dad or something, man.
That's why I said
yeah, I got it.
that's why
maybe
I
some
said,
crunches or something.
But that's why I said Static Shock, Batman Beyond, because Batman Beyond, Static Shock had the fucking dreads. He was older.
Okay.
Yeah, older, like a
He had a good
2099
series
Static
just now
Shock.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's relevant again. He just had a pretty good series, man.
They
Or
added
maybe
him in the DC
the first
stuff.
Captain America.
The
Okay,
first
first
Captain
Captain,
America?
you know what I'm talking
Isaiah
about?
Bradley?
Yeah, Isaiah Bradley. There you go.
All right.
Put some platform boots on though to give me a couple of inches of height. So, and then I
Hey,
think I could pull it off.
it worked for Homelander, all right? The guy who plays Homelander is our height, you know? He's perfect.
Really?
Yeah, they gave him
Shit.
fucking stilettos, bud. Mark,
Camera
there's hope.
angles are great, aren't they?
There's hope, Mark. You could be you could
Movie
be the next
magic.
Captain America, all right? With a
Oh,
little bit of
God.
stilettos. It'll really
And
make
some
America's
steroids.
ass.
A little bit of Annabelle.
Yeah. You know? So, I mean, ultimately, you're taking the con into places to where not necessarily that other cons haven't gone, but other smaller cons haven't gone. And I think that is the attraction, because there isn't a con close to you. You have to go to Oaks. You have to go to the Philly Convention Center. You got to go to Baltimore. You have to travel. And I think that is overall the big draw for the Great Media Comic-Con. You're bringing in not only comic creators like Aleem, but you're bringing in actors and actresses and music comic creators like Johnny Necro. You're bringing in a lot of really an eclectic bunch of misfits for Delco to appreciate.
I don't know if I'd say misfits, but I get where you're going. Yeah, it's definitely, we have something for everyone. Like I said, we got John Swayze who's coming in. He's a huge voice actor in anime. Does voices all for one in My Hero Academia. And I'll be honest with you,
shit.
I am no expert on anime, but if you sit there and you look at his credits, he's Crocodile in One Piece. He's like
Dang.
261 credits this guy has to his name. I saw Borderlands 2 and I was like, oh, I know that.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
Man,
Like,
you better-
I was sitting
yeah,
at
he's got so much.
I was sitting at the Blue Hen Con. It was Ming Chen to my right. It
Yup.
was him to my left. And
Yeah.
he was that first, like, okay.
what you doing in your pocket, man?
Hey man, I'm a fan. I really I had that that nerdy interaction with him. I hope he doesn't remember, but I really appreciate that. But I did have a serious conversation with him because of One Piece and the live action, because they actually did One Piece a little bit of justice, I feel, with that live action compared to other live action.
I still think I could take Luffy. I'm just saying.
You can.
I think I could take Luffy.
You can swim. He can't. I mean, just
Yeah,
pick a pool fight, bud. That's it.
right. That's what I'm just saying. I think I could take him. I
Pool
think I could
party
take him.
and Luffy's dead. That may be the title of the podcast. I don't know. But it's that kind of a inspiration, because I was sitting there at the Blue Hen Con and I saw people running. Right. I mean, they were going to Ming and they were going to him.
Yeah.
And when they went to him, they pulled out their phones. And he was doing the voiceover characters for people like that weren't there.
Mm.
It was these people like, hey, my mom will love you. She loves One Piece. Do the character. And I overheard him doing characters all day, you know?
Right.
And it's that kind of a love that I think especially we're going to have Marion on the Tales of the Hunted, Marion Toro, who was that.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Travelers.
Yeah.
We're going to have her and hopefully Vince. I mean, I'll take one Toro, but they're both amazing. And Frank and I are going to talk to them, but I'm going to scalp all of your guests eventually. And the ones that some of them Johnny has claimed, and it's going to be a Frozen Dead Tales of the Hunted podcast extravaganza, I'll say. But there's a lot of really great content coming here, and I'm so happy that we can highlight you and the Great Media Comic Con on the Tales of the Hunted, because ultimately I want people to hunt you and the Great Media Comic Con, because
just don't hunt what you can't kill, you know?
I want people to be able to go out there and have a place to take their kids and experience all of these great people we've been talking about. And this weekend event, you go out, experience the Q&A, you take your kids and your wife out there both days, because it's a community
all-day party
event. It's an all-day party. It's something that I think that a lot of people need right now, especially with just the way that the world is. Being able to revert into your community and find hope and a lot of happiness is what these events are for. And when you can have a lot to offer, that's where the event continues to go on, and it becomes the annual Great Media Comic-Con, because you're going to continue to make great things. I know you. You will continue to push the envelope. You can't help but go 1,000 horsepower. I know you. You can't help it. And you're going to continue to push the envelope, and you're going to continue to make this the Great Media Comic-Con. And Mark, I'm so fucking happy for you. I'm so happy for your success, and I'm so happy that you were actually on here and to be my guest on the Tales of the Hunted. Aleem,
listen,
you're Aleem, and I got to tell this just to cut you off, but there is a new thing that I'm putting out here on Tales of the Hunted, and it's a golden ticket winner. Okay, just like Willy Wonka, Aleem was one of the first golden ticket winners of Tales of the Hunted, and that means you can be on whenever. And he didn't think he was going to add anything to this conversation, but I knew that Mark introduced the two of us, and the start of Tales of the Hunted really started when you, me, and Frank gathered together, and that's where this whole hunt really started. We titled it, we grew it, and you're one of the people that is 100% behind me and my crazy ideas, and I really want to support all of my friends, especially the crazy fucker below me, because all of my friends are amazing, all of my friends are crazy, and all of them deserve to be hunted. Either one of you speak up next. I mean,
okay, yeah. A lot of the things that I take pride in is, dude, I'll be honest, Aleem, it was super exciting for you to have your first con with us, and we've had a lot of people have their first con with us. Noodlebird, her name's Raven Amaro. It was her first con. She's coming back. I've now seen her at other local Comic Cons and art events and doing stuff too. We saw her at our sister con, Winter Con, over there at the Upper Darby High School, which me and Frank worked. I don't know if Frank knows, but I think we sold a lot.
He doesn't.
Frank was there, and I was pushing the socks he sells real hard.
Yo, I have those socks. They are really comfortable. They're comfortable.
Bro, they are. I don't understand why he fights it. I don't understand. He was so mad at me. I kept showing everyone the socks, but yeah, I drove him crazy, but we had a lot of fun over there. Yeah. And so, obviously, thanks to Rob Hughes and his crew. He's coming back too. He'll be back selling comic books. He was super happy. Honestly, one of the things we work so hard with is making sure our vendors are happy. We're not just like, you bought your table, that's it, see you later, see you there. You know what I mean? We try to communicate with everybody, and we, try to keep an open door with communications. Hey, what's going on? How are you? Blah, blah, blah. Is there anything you need? We create ads for our vendors, all of our vendors, because, it's not just the guests that are stars, but the vendors are stars too. And we try to make people feel like that. You know what I mean?
And that was one thing that Johnny he mentioned first, is that you made him feel like he was important. It wasn't like, oh, here's your table, there it is. And honestly, that is what's going to keep people coming to your con, is that you treat them like a human being, like, hey, we want to highlight you. We want to boost you up. We want to build you up. And by building everybody up, it makes everybody else better. And it's the staple here. And it's exactly what I love about your con.
Yeah. So, I mean,
that is a really is a rare thing too. You know, like I'm still shocked sometimes by the hospitality that I've experienced since being at the Great Media Comic Con.
but not from Frank, right?
Yeah, I mean Frank and everybody else. I mean, it's just like it's really it's shocking, man. After you hit a certain age, you don't expect to make any new friends.
Yeah,
you know, and find genuine people, especially in this day and age. So, you know, like it's really like it still surprises me to this day the connections that were made there, and it means a lot. And that's another thing. That's another thing too that you can expect there. And you were speaking about it earlier, how you were saying that you know, in this day and age where we're so separated, you find a place where we can come together and enjoy the things that we have in common. You know, we may differ about how we feel about X, Y, and Z, but we all agree that Delco Spider-Man is fucking cool, you know. That Batman suit was amazing. There's a Mandalorian over there. And you know, like there's toy shops here that are in the area that you might not have known about. So now you know that, you know, like this video shop or this comic book creator or this artist over here or this voice actor that's been on shows that I like that doesn't even live that far away. This guy, I used to work for Marvel. All of these different things that you can find in your close vicinity is it's a hell of a time, man. And with you adding those voice actors like that guy, you might have some out of towners coming in too for things like that too. So I hope you guys are ready for that, because I've seen that at other places. People make the journey to see those names. So I'm wishing you the best of luck, man. And I think it's gonna be that Sledgehammer.
Yeah, I'm expecting more lines this year. We've got some new faces too, guys that we tried to get last year that weren't unavailable. The Console War guys are coming over from New Jersey, and they
Really?
I know, finally, right? Because I talk about them all the time.
Man.
I'm such a fan. They're coming this year.
That's
both
awesome.
of them.
I can't wait.
Pat and Dan, yeah. I know, dude. I'm super excited. So, and I've been to cons that they've been at, and they've done panels, and it's like, dude, these guys got a following. They're a lot of fun. I've always had fun, and I think they're gonna fit right in. You know what I mean? They're gonna be right at home.
100%.
We've got so many great people coming back. I mean, so many new faces too. Some really great vendors coming in the door. We've got, returning sponsors that are coming back. A lot of them. Rags to Riches. I adopted my dog. Everybody knows.
I love that.
But I give every time I'm on a podcast, I give a big shout out to them. I love them. I love all their sponsors.
Yes.
Everyone,
if you want a dog, you really should consider adopting. I used to foster dogs with my old podcast partner for a while, and it was a real big joy in my life seeing all these dogs come through the doors and finding a really happy home. And it's really something that I think everybody should really consider, instead of just trying to get that inbred, purebred dog.
Right, yeah, I know.
Go, I love me.
Yeah.
But go out there and adopt, man. There's a lot of really, really beautiful dogs that really need your love. And I love Rags to Riches, and I really love what they stand for, man. I used to foster, and it speaks to my heart, because the mascot of Projangers and Wall Hangers is my dog,
Link
Diablo, and I love them 100%. But the one thing I wanted to tickle your brain about is the panels. Are you willing to let us know about any of what kind of panels are you going to have on?
We're going to have a comic book panel. Obviously, because Mark McKenna is going to be there. You've had him on the show.
He's amazing.
He's going to be there.
He's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to meet with him. We've spent some time emailing back and forth.
He's as humble as Frank.
Frank's so cocky. What?
I know, but honestly, he's as humble as Frank. Because when I was at Ocean City, it was those two, and I was like a fly on the wall of the Marvel water cooler.
I'm sure, yeah.
They were talking
Sharing
back
their
and
war
forth.
stories, yeah.
And then I went, and when I talked to him, when I blurted it out, I was like, I'm a real big fan. He was like, who, me? I'm not talking to the fucking weirdo behind you, man. Like, yeah. You.
Yeah.
He's so fucking modest and he's so cool.
Yeah.
Like when I was talking to him, like when he went on the podcast, he's like, I went out and saw Aquaman, but was there a after credit scene? I don't know. I just wanted to get out of there and hang out with you guys. You know, it's that kind of like, oh man, I feel like I just made a friend.
Yeah.
And this guy was making comics when I was in diapers, you know, like this shit was awesome.
I'm still wearing it, so.
Well, I didn't want to let that on a podcast, so thank you. But but he's a name that you can look forward to at the Great Media Comic-Con. Like when I started getting into comics, and especially with Tales of the Hunted, it's very much about comics. A big name in comics are inkers. And ever since that Kevin Smith movie, a lot of people shit on inkers. But when I was at Blue Hen,
Talking about Mallrats?
yeah, that one.
Yeah.
But when I was at Blue Hen, I literally checked out when it was Frank and his other inker friend like talking about technique. I was thinking about like anything else. I was looking at people, I was observing, but they were like going into like stroke techniques and different things like that, like different artistic techniques are lost on me. But having the experience for different people to come out there and different people to experience the heroes, for lack of a better word, that they love, is exactly why we want people to go to Great Media Comic-Con, because if you go there, they're going to continue to get more people you love. Each year, this man will make it better. I guarantee you. He can't help it.
I'll certainly try. Like I said, the team and I certainly will try.
But you're at the forefront, you and the team. I trust all of you, and I really know that you guys are going to be putting out your best for Delco. And I think that this is going to be, it's going to be better than last year. I know you're going to try. I had a whole podcast where we tried.
Right.
But it ends up to where when you have enough people who are passionate about what they're doing, and they really want to do this because nobody else is, it really shows. It showed in the first year. It's going to show in the second year. And I think, especially with the Q&A, with the 2-day event, to where a lot of smaller cons, hey, we'll do an event here, we'll do an event there. We'll stick to the 1 day. Second year, you're going 2 days, well, technically 3 days, well, 2.5 days.
Technically, yeah.
But you're shooting for the stars, and you got an American icon of Claudia Wells with Back to the Future. It's something that everybody knows, everybody loves, and who wouldn't want to listen to a Q&A with her? You know,
right?
It's that kind of thing, and you're bringing it to the community, to where it's media. Everyone will want to be there, and it's something that isn't normally there. So you have a lot of attraction, you have a lot of star power, and with the management that I know that's behind it, I got to tell you, I think you guys are going to clean house this year as well.
Yeah,
I hope so.
And on top of that, man, big ups to you for helping a historic venue get back on their feet too. You mentioned that the movie theater was the first time in 30 years that they was able to have that's huge in and of itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, they do plays there. Often that's kind of their bread and butter. But I know they've had some film festivals. But this is the first time like a major motion picture's been shown in that theater in 30 some odd years. You know what I mean? So
that's big, man. You got to
it's
play
huge,
on that.
and it's
with the
and it's not just
you got
and you know, not to plug it again, but it's like it's not just like, you know, Rookie of the Year, great movie, but it's not Rookie of the Year. It's we're going back to the future, and we're getting a DeLorean, and we're getting Claudia Wells, and we're gonna do a cosplay contest, and the bar's gonna have Back to the Future themed drinks. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
that's
I have no idea what those drinks are gonna be called. I don't drink anymore. So, but
we
they're
got
gonna
one
be
called the
there.
Bill Cosby. It'll make you have a
Yeah.
good time.
No, we're not gonna have it.
I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, I know. But it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I will.
That'll be edited out. So, no, I'm excited. Honestly, I'm excited to see all the faces again of all the people that were there last year. I'm excited to see Aleem again. I know I just saw him at Blue Hen Comic Con, and I made sure I stopped by his table and we talked for a while. And dude, you know the great thing is like we came out and Frank's made some great connections with James over at Ocean City and Sean who ran the Blue Hen Comic Con. So like I've got to sit and talk to them and so did Cheek, and we got a chance to kind of like conversate with them, and Ocean City's gonna come up and support us. And so Frank told me next year I have to go. So
You do.
he said next year it's mandatory. I said,
Oh, you have
all right,
to
I'm
go,
going.
dude.
I'm going.
I went last year, okay?
I know.
And it was amazing. It was
Listen,
amazing.
I believe it. It's always for me. It's always like, dude, taking time off from my job. You know what I mean? And I already taken
get that.
time
I
off
get
as
that.
it is. So yeah.
But
so
when I finally did it and I took the drive and I went down there, and I mean, just getting lost. Like I thought Blue Hen was amazing in the Sears that they had this year, but and they're doing two days next year. And when I went to Ocean City, I was in a convention center. I did not stray far from Frank's table. Like I did not go live very far. I had an adult get me there, and I knew where the bathroom was and to Frank's table about. I did one live, and that like it was popping. Like people say, the shore is dead. Like it was a zombie horde out there, man. There were so many.
Dude, that's awesome. James has been really terrific. I'll be honest with you. He's been I called him for some advice like a couple weeks ago, and we spoke on the phone, and he's super patient guy, super awesome. I give him a lot of props. Yeah, so we're super thankful. Yeah, we're super thankful for WinterCon and Ocean City, and we're just honestly, I'm so grateful for the experience of all this on top of everything else. Yeah. I constantly say that, like I'm really grateful for all of this, and dude, let's talk about you and for a second. Dude, we gotta give you props, man. I've known you for almost 5 years now, and dude, the one podcast kind of hit a wall, and it was into oblivion, and you've kind of come back, and you've been rescuing this thing, and this Tales of the Hunted has given you a new format, and it's a lot better than the old one. And I mean that in the best way possible.
No, I understand.
Dude, you're doing awesome. Yeah, I think this is great.
I stumbled onto it with Frank.
Yeah,
because
I think it's great, man.
I can never give enough credit than ever to Katerina Thermascara, Katerina Quinnes, my wonderful one, because I was doing Matt and Kat show with her. And one show, we decided to have Frank on. And then life got turbulent for her, so she dropped out. But I had the thought, I was like, man, that last podcast with Frank, he said he'd be on any time. And I thought, well, why don't me and Frank have a show? And it was because of you. You were the person who introduced me so many years ago. And I said it on Delco After Dark because I really appreciate you. And Tales of the Hunted is because of you and Katerina. Almost equally so, because I was in a dark place, about a year and a half or so ago. I lost my job, and I was, it was a big ego hit. And to be able to pull myself out of the fire from that with my friends, and then make new friends like Josh Shockley, Jim Cantinelli, and Jetta Anthony, and Aleem and Michael Florio, and all this, and be able to actually start to write my own comic book is something I wouldn't have imagined a year and a half ago. And I'm completely, leveled by that. I appreciate everybody, and I love all the support I've been getting from Tales of the Hunted. And I'm gonna keep going, man. Me and Frank try to keep at least a solid 2-week schedule out, so that way, we have Lug Nuts every single week with me and Big Brother putting out the automotive news, and we have Tales of the Hunted giving you everything in the creative news, especially like great events like the Great Media Comic-Con. And it's everything I would have wanted from Projangers and Wall Hangers. This is, I've edited every single podcast for the past 5 years, and I'm just now starting to get the love, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate both of you two for supporting me through everything that you have, and I appreciate your friendship. I love you guys. That's why I have you on.
Oh, man,
don't get so sappy now. Don't get so sappy, man.
I can't help it. I just got my first interview yesterday, man. I never did an interview. I'm always the person interviewing. And then Carl was so fucking good.
Dude, he's wild, isn't he?
We
got to get you on there, Aleem. Aleem, we got to try to get you on.
Dude,
with Carl.
We have to get you with Carl, dude. 100%.
Carl is...
You will have.
If you think Matt has a lot of energy, Carl is a fireball.
Dude,
keep up with it.
Mark, me and you we're gonna get him on. We're gonna get you on with Carl in the Del Go After Dark, dude. I mean,
all right, let's make it happen.
It's a podcast you need to do.
Carl's gonna be there too, broadcasting live at the Great Media Comic-Con.
I know.
He runs the media theater, so he's also gonna be there running the sound system at the media theater as well that night.
I owe him a disgusting soda.
Yeah, and we have to watch Matt drink some nasty soda.
We gotta drink like a pickle soda or something.
I don't know.
He
described it as a strange soda that can be really, really bad.
I drank turkey dinner.
And somebody mentioned jelly beans at the end of the podcast, where I just imagined Harry Potter, and I'm just very glad that I was very talkative.
Oh, you can't just glaze over that. You drank a turkey dinner soda.
Yeah.
That can't just go.
Wait. I'll be honest with you. It didn't taste like turkey dinner. Like, there's no way. We were sitting there, and I remember doing it, and I'm like,
there was a thought in your mind that it was like,
yeah, and I was like,
maybe.
I don't know what this is, and I look back at how it tasted, and we like, I talked about it with Carl. I was like, it just tastes like burnt caramel, and that's really what it came off as. And that, that in and itself, it doesn't sound like a good flavor, but that's really what it tasted like. And I was like, you could drink it. I would never want to. It's not something I would go out and buy, but it was like not the worst one. And then he showed me one he was going to drink on the next show, and I said, I'm glad you didn't give me that one. I would have fought you. And he started laughing. And I think he kind of thought I was serious, and I wasn't serious, but I was like, dude, I would have been mad. That soda looked nasty. It was called like rotten fruit or something. I don't know what it was.
Fruit. Okay.
I would have lost it. I would have been like, nah, bro, we ain't friends no more.
I gotta tell you, I'm really glad that I just talked my way through that strange soda shit, and I just gotta look forward to that in April. I love you, Carl. But, skated that one, bro.
We'll make sure it happens.
I know you will.
Sure. Yeah.
You'll see Mark waterboarding me with strange soda at the Great Media Comic-Con.
But
gentlemen, I like to end off this podcast with the same bit of music that I paid for ever so long ago. And that is, I am your host, Matthew B. Grell, the Matt Man. To next to me is Aleem Legit. We have Mark Gervais of the Great Media Comic-Con, Aleem of Diary of Sweet Pea. And we want you to hunt both of them at the Great Media Comic-Con this April. And Make sure to check out Claudia Wells at the Media Theater. The first time in 30 years you're going to see a feature-length film. And until next time, we love you. We miss you. We want to see you then. Game on, boys and girls. Bye-bye. Thank you, gentlemen. This has been a spectacular podcast.
Damn, Mark, I might have to join your workout routine, man. I've seen this hoodie fold up like 4 times on me. Like, shit's getting swallowed up, man.
He'll do
What
it.
the fuck?
Hey, listen, I tell
He'll be
everybody, if I'm in there, come on down. Even if I'm not going to work out, I'll work you out. Hey.
He will be gentle. He won't kill you. That's what he promised me.
What's those little suspenders that people, the little suspender strap things that people use to clamp their shirt down?
Oh, yeah.
Although, one thing I did want to tell you, Mark, since I started at direct paint, I have dropped 3 belt notches.
That's amazing.
Nice.
I dropped 3 belt notches because I noticed I was always picking up my pants.
But that's just because you got a different belt, Matt.
It's the same belt. It's the same belt because I noticed the waves in the belt.
I'm teasing you. Yeah.
You notice when you use that belt and you're like, oh, there's waves, and you're starting a new wave, and you're like, oh shit. Oh, it's like an achievement.
That was a great podcast, man. By the way, it was a great podcast, man. Thank you. I really appreciate you inviting me on. I know we talked about it like a couple months ago or whatever. Mm-hmm. But no, I really appreciate you bringing me on, bud. I do.
Look, a lot of people have been telling me that I'm good at this. I don't know how I do it, but
I don't think you are, but I think you do a good podcast. Yeah.
If I'm gonna do it, good. I'm gonna do it good for my friends.
Nah, man, I appreciate you. You know that.
And
I do.
I know you tease, but I also want to build everybody up. I mean, it's possible for me now. Especially with these indie creators that I'm meeting, like Aleem and Josh Shockley and Brandon Spicer. I'm getting all these people on. I'm getting Marion on. I'm getting a whole bunch of people. I never thought. I didn't think anybody fucking watched my show for like fucking 6 years. I've just been doing this for me, and all of a sudden, all these goddamn people fucking walk in, and now I gotta fucking tease them.
Yeah, that's how it happens, man. You put content up for a while, and then you get one big hit, and then they go into your backlog, and all.
But don't they
next
know
thing
this
you know,
is
everything's
about me?
viral.
This is about me. This is for me, not you. Trying to meet famous people, like motherfuckers.
Watching, right?
But nah, man, it's been a fucking ride. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I just joke around and I have fun, and everybody loves it. So I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, well, not only that, I think, dude, it was within an hour we covered a lot. You know what I mean? And I always appreciate the kind words when Aleem has to say. And I said it on a podcast, but I say it again, like watching Aleem start with us and then go to some of these bigger cons, and whether he was super successful or not, I don't, that's, he knows that, but to know that he was going to those events and flying to Texas and doing that stuff, stretching his wings, I love to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's even if he had never returned to the Great Media Comic-Con and it was nothing personal, but it's just business. It's nice. It's good to see people doing better when, from our little from our little Comic-Con with 30 vendors or whatever. You know what I mean?
Y'all must have little podcast. I saw that. Little podcast. Y'all must have it because it is. It's that kind of joy. You get that kind of joy out of people doing good.
Yeah. Well, it's cool to see. Like I said, it's cool. It's definitely cool to see people doing that stuff, and I think it's awesome, man. And to know that we can take part in such like a little adventure, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So,
well, you're part of a bigger culture.
No, I get that. Yeah, I understand. I know. I'm at every Comic-Con in Philadelphia.
I know you're the con guy, but you need to hear this, is that you are now part of that culture because you mean something to your community. Media loves you. Media loves the Great Media Comic-Con because it's almost just like the Ocean City Comic Con. The
Yeah.
people want that event. They want
Yeah.
to be there, and they need that content. It's the digital age that we're in, that having events like this to where you rip away the phone from that person and you bring them into an almost a community event. It's tribal.
Yeah.
It's bringing
Oh,
back
I agree.
to
Yeah.
human roots, and
Yeah.
that is
It's
what's
intimate.
so attractive.
Yeah. I think it's pretty cool to, instead of these like heavy segregated lines to the celebrities, you can just walk right up to their table. And that might be an issue this year with Claudia and John, but we'll find out. You know what I mean? Like,
I can't wait.
um,
I can't wait to see your problems with that, dude. I can't wait.
you can see
There's
the
gonna be
vein
a
in my
fucking
head
line.
pop out. Yeah,
It's
you can
gonna
see
be-
the vein in my head. I'm like, oh,
I could see
you gotta-
Frank sitting there with like a whole line of people waiting to see Claudia, and he's like, "Hey, here's my artwork," and we're like,
Yeah,
"It's very nice, but I'm actually just standing in line."
I think Frank's going to be more on the floor this year. I think he's going to be more active on the floor.
If Ocean City and Blue Hen is anything to say to me, that means I'm going to be at his goddamn table, and he's just going to be fucking wandering around again.
Yeah. So yeah.
Thank you for letting me know what I'm getting into. I'm just going to be at Frank's table. And once again,
Nah, but-
everybody in media is going to think Frank Percy's a 5'5" fucking white guy.
Yeah. I just.
Now that's why when I said that I was at a convention in Gettysburg. It was like a total hole in the wall, like completely out of the way, bad location, man.
Oh shoot.
Like really, there was no foot traffic, but the voice actor for he did like some My Hero stuff as well, and it was people that had traveled like a couple like miles to come out to catch him there. That's what I'm saying. Like, fingers crossed, man. If that advertises the right way, I think you might get some out of towners just off of those
When I was at
Yeah.
Blue Hen,
just off of those
I
voice
told you,
actors.
people were fucking V-lining it for him. And I overheard people saying how they traveled miles, like you're saying, just to see him because their father, their boyfriend, their friend loved his characters. So when
Philly has
you said you got him, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're good. Hey, Philly has a strong anime community. So does Delaware County.
Mhm.
And one of the things is like I'd seen that last year, and while we had someone who teased and touched on it, Greg Hauser, great guy, very nice. But we needed something a little more bigger. You know, we needed something with a little more pizzazz. And John definitely fits that bill by 1,000%. And I sent his ad to one of the kids who lives in town who dressed up as an anime character, and he came with like 5 or 6 kids, right? And they were all dressed up, running around together. And I say kid, he's 21, whatever. You know what I mean? But I sent it to him. I had a kid to me, but I sent it to him, and he was like, "No way, is this real?" And I was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "No way." He just kept saying "no way," and I was like cracking up. I was like, "Yeah, he's gonna be there." He's like, "Oh my god, oh my god," and I was like laughing. I was like, "Is that good? Like, you know, like, give me a hint, man. I don't watch anime. Like, I don't, you know what I mean?" And he was like, "No, this is amazing."
I think my family came in while we was on, so I'm gonna head out and go catch up with them.
Yeah.
Hey,
brother.
take care, Aleem. Yeah, man, it was nice seeing you.
Yeah, good to see you too,
Until
man.
the
I'll be
next
getting in
time.
touch with you. Yep,
All right,
I'll be in
dude.
touch
Take
with you
care,
sooner than later. All right, y'all take it easy.
Later,
All right,
brother.
you too, man. Matt, I'm gonna get going too, brother.
All right, man. Love you, man.
All right, dude. Let me know when this drops. Give me a heads up.
I'll send you the link.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
Later.
Friends.